Welcome to Tomorrow Secured, Palo Alto Networks Innovation Showcase. I'm Shira Rubinoff, CEO of the Cybersphere Group. We are here at Shack 15 in San Francisco for Cybersecurity's biggest week. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll talk to Palo Alto Networks leadership about the state of the industry, as well as what new products and releases are coming for the company. Up first, taking the stage is Nikesh Arora, CEO at Palo Alto Networks, who shares his vision for the future landscape of cybersecurity.
Because of the fragmentation and complexity that we all have to deal with in cybersecurity, what happens is that process of collecting the problem, analyzing the problem, prioritizing the problem, fixing the problem takes time. It requires data from many different systems to be collated. It requires humans to interpret that data. It requires remediation plans to be built. It requires remediation to be applied, perhaps not just in security infrastructure, but also in associated technological infrastructure. The challenge we're going to run into is, if you believe the future that we live in a world of normalized intelligence, of AI being ubiquitous and agents being everywhere, that problem cannot be left to humans anymore. That becomes an agentic AI problem too. Because if you can't stop as fast as they can get at you, you create an imbalance. If agents can hack you and apply 1,000 agents to attack your infrastructure and analyze every piece of data, every vulnerability from the outside in, and get into your infrastructure, our job is to be able to analyze our own data, our own enterprise configuration, posture, et cetera, and be able to remediate at the same speed. So we're going to a world where not only do we have to build the capability of securing the agentic AI future, but also being able to take our enterprise and change the speed of remediation in the enterprise.
Next up, Lee Klarich, Chief Product and Technology Officer, talks about how agentic AI is rapidly disrupting traditional security architectures.
Let's talk about then how to secure these things. And let's start by actually understanding how these things work. And I'm going to start with an example which is a real example. You're going to look at it and say, that doesn't look real. This is a real example. Would you deploy this application if you had to give it access to pretty much all of your data? And it could send that data to other applications. And you didn't have visibility into these actions. And Nikesh gave the example. It could write its own code to bypass any controls you try to put in place. And it was almost impossible to do a full security review. Would you deploy it? I almost want to see a show of hands. I'm guessing no one's going to raise their hand. Yet I'm guessing all of you have actually done this. Because this is a pretty close approximation to how vibe coding works.
Lee also demonstrates how Palo Alto Networks has been constantly innovating to keep pace with the agentic AI world.
In a nutshell, we have been so forward-leaning in thinking about AI security, organically, inorganically, partnering, because we see how fast AI adoption is happening, and we understand how important it is to be able to give you the tools to adopt it. You're not going to be able to hold back the wave. There are way too many benefits of AI to hold it back. We have to enable it. To enable it, we have to be iterating and innovating as fast as AI is. And that is why we've been so focused on that. And that is why today we have the largest AI security launch in our history.
Let's dig deeper into securing the AI enterprise with Anand Oswal, Executive Vice President of Products.
So today we're excited to introduce Prisma AS 3.0. This is the industry's most complete, most comprehensive platform for securing your AI apps and your agents. Now, what we've done is that we've extended what we had for AI applications. So what we had model scanning, we've extended that to scan artifacts of agents, MCP servers, tools, to have model scanning and artifact scanning combined. Our red teaming is now extended to red team AI agents, so we can find the vulnerabilities before they're used in production. In terms of posture management, we support about 12 different platforms today, cloud and SaaS platforms, where we have secure, the posture management across all of them. We've extended runtime security. I told you about the attacks, the memory poisoning, the tool overuse, tool hijacking. All those are part of runtime protections. And then we announced today the AI Agent Gateway, the most critical part of securing your AI agents. A central place where all your agentic traffic is going through. The right place for you to apply the runtime controls, but also all the identity controls in terms of identity access and management. It's also the place where you can get complete agent observability on exactly what's going on step by step.
As luck would have it, we have Anand with us. Anand, so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So Anand, we're seeing a massive shift from simple AI chatbots to these agentic systems that actually plan and act on their own. For the creators and entrepreneurs watching, this feels like we're giving the keys of the kingdom to AI. So how does Prisma AIRS 3.0 ensure these agents stay helpful coworkers rather than becoming security liabilities?
Look, AI and agents is the biggest architecture shift in the enterprise. And as these things evolve, we have newer types of risks. I always tell people, make sure we secure this by design, upfront. Don't let it be an afterthought. So if you think of AI and agentic security, agents by nature are going to do things. They're going to execute tasks. They're going to run tools to do different things. They have memory, right? They have short-term memory. They have long-term memory. They need to be personalized to your behavior. And when you have apps and agents as we're evolving, we have to protect this holistically. From threats that we saw in the past, the threats that we saw up to a year ago with only AI apps, and the threats we're seeing now with agents, and who knows what else tomorrow. Right. You need to have a really adaptable system. And that's why a point product just to solve this or that will not work, right? Now, AI agents are getting deployed across the enterprise. You have over 1 billion also going to be there in a couple of years. It needs holistic solution. So now, one of the biggest things that I feel is that you can only secure something if you see it.
Yes.
Right? So an AI agent gateway becomes the cornerstone of securing your agentic traffic. You need to make sure all your agentic traffic flows through this gateway. That's the place where you can apply all the controls. Controls on runtime, controls on identity, controls on governance, and also have the right observability end to end. That is the key to how we are launching today. We launched Prisma 3.0 today, Prisma AIRS 3.0, which we brought together AI model, agent model scanning, and red teaming, and posture management, runtime security. But the cornerstone of that is the agent gateway with all the identity controls applied at that central point for security and for control.
AI, I see it in two different pathways. AI for making security better internally, and then there is security for AI. We need to secure the AI use cases.
The developers, they're going and setting their policies and guardrails separately. And that is causing basically data leakage and inconsistencies in their policy management.
This space is evolving fast, but the team is able to react at the same pace. And everything is available to me seamlessly. I don't have to worry about updating my models, updating my defenses. Prisma AIRS does it for me.
Red teaming, runtime security, model scanning, and posture management. You can just get a security key and basically you can start using Prisma AIRS. It's as simple as that.
Prisma AIRS is the platform designed to secure AI, and it has evolved right along with the new capabilities of AI. Jaimin Patel is Vice President of Product for Network Security, and he's here to talk about what is new in Prisma AIRS 3.0. Pleasure to have you with us here today.
Thank you, Shira. It's good to be here.
Well, thank you. So, Jaimin, how did Prisma AIRS evolve from 1.0 to 2.0 to now? And what is the new 3.0?
It's an amazing question. So 1.0, we started back in 2024. It started with AI runtime security, where we would be securing generative AI applications, models, and data. Then in 2.0, it evolved to include model scanning technologies and AI red teaming, in addition to the runtime security that we were doing in 1.0 already. And then we started expanding to the AI posture management. So we started to 2.0 journey from 1.0, from one module to now 4 modules. And in 3.0, we are super excited to announce additional 2 modules around AI Agent Gateway and AI Agent Identities. security that's coming out.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to seeing that. And what are the new and what are the top AI security challenges you are hearing from CIOs and CISOs? I talk to CISOs all the time. I have a board of CISOs, and there's so many challenges they're facing. I'm very curious to hear your perspective, please.
That's an amazing question. CIOs and CISOs right now are worried about shadow AI problem to begin with. Because AI applications and agents are everywhere. Agents can be running in your laptop, as well as in your agents, browsers, as well as cloud and SaaS applications. They do not know where this AI ecosystem or the footprint is running. So that is the first order of problem that CIOs and CISOs are worried about. Then second one, which is a discovery problem. After that, the problem comes around risk assessment. Because they do not know where these agents are running, and even if they know where they are running, they do not know how to do the risk assessment. There is no specific quantifiable way to identify risk associated with these agents. And the third problem is, now I know the risk, what is the best way for me to protect it? So that discovery, assessment, and the protection throughout the AI app and agent lifecycle is the problem CIOs and CISOs are dealing with.
Well, very true. A lot to keep them up at night.
Yes,
certainly.
absolutely.
The evolution of AI in just the past year has been exponential. As AI changes, so has the security solutions designed to protect the enterprise. Let's talk to Ian Swanson, Vice President of AI Security at Palo Alto Networks, about those changes. Ian, so happy to have you with us here today.
Cyber Week, for us, and it's just such an exciting time. We launched Prisma Airs 3.0, and it was really this next evolution of AI security to really applying it to agents. So just like you said, we're kind of moving away from, or I should say in this new era of AI that, again, not just talks, but acts. And our CEO sometimes says it's like we gave AI arms and legs to go do things.
Makes
but
sense.
with that power and that autonomy, there's so much value that companies can get, but there's also new risks that become introduced.
Very true. And in this new world, an AI agent might have the keys to the kingdom, so to put, to execute trades, push code, or talk to customers. So Ian, what are the unique risks when an agent becomes overly permissive or falls victim to context poisoning?
Yeah, and you gave a couple examples there, but I mean, it's like as if an agent was, maybe he said had permission to read a database, but what happens if it deletes that database?
Right.
Or perhaps shares that data with a malicious actor. So what we have to do is make sure that we're controlling agents in a way that they don't go rogue, and that we create the guardrails and the boundaries and really understand the context of what the agent is allowed to do and really hold it accountable to make sure, again, it's not leaking sensitive data, it's not doing actions that it shouldn't do. All of that is incredibly important to build a secure AI end-to-end. Whether that's you are consuming agents from SaaS vendors, we announced a partnership with ServiceNow, or if you're building your own agents.
Well, you're definitely explaining the things we need to think about. And at Cybersecurity's biggest week, you're announcing that Prisma Airs 3.0 is the platform to secure the AI enterprise. If there's one thing you want the security community to take away from this launch, what is it?
Yeah. So first off, there should be no AI in any enterprise without security of AI.
Right.
We need to make sure as security professionals that as we deploy AI that adds a ton of value for our companies, that it's safe, that it's trusted, and that it's secure. In this particular release, we're able to apply everything that we've done for AI applications and machine learning models to new agentic work teams. That means we can discover agents no matter where they live. We can assess the risks and behaviorally test agents, and then we can secure them at runtime. The bottom line is, again, we can secure new agentic workloads end to end so that customers can deploy AI bravely.
Well, the amount of AI agents out there is immeasurable. So being able to do that is something that's super important for this industry, and people should take note of that. Yeah. And the 3.0 launch includes a gateway for agent communications. How does this protect the business in real time without slowing down the efficiency gains that makes agents so attractive in the first place? And that's something that organizations are struggling with.
Yeah. So I think a gateway has a couple areas that are really interesting from a solution perspective. Companies are looking for one management plane that they can manage all of their agents, their models, their system prompts, all their skills in one place. And a gateway can do that. But it also can manage the traffic. And those two things in concert give you the context, the ability to understand what the agent's supposed to do, and actually insert security at the point of runtime. Now, when we do that, just get to the last part of your question, we need to make sure that it's fast. So low latency, low cost, but still highly accurate. And those are three things that we really hold our own teams accountable to make sure that we can meet our customers where they're at.
Well, that's important because people don't want trade-offs. They're trying to figure out which is the way to go, and you're giving them everything they need.
Yep.
So Ian, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your insights for our audience, and I look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Yeah, thank you too.
Thank you.
The browser has evolved to deal with a whole new landscape of threats. For example, prompt injection or the use of AI extensions that are unsafe. As we allow people to experiment with agents that use the browser to run tasks, we can have policies built into Prisma Browser that would limit the risks of that action.
We wanted to make sure when our staff use AI tools that they're able to do that safely and securely while protecting all our information. The easiest way we found to do that was using the Prisma Browser.
I love Prisma Browser and its security features, and if it could become an agentic browser, it would be a win for all of us.
On the surface, it looks wonderful. It's a browser with AI. In reality, that AI component has access to your authentication, it has access to cookies, to data, to cache history, it has access to all of the tabs that are open. And it's not just connecting to an AI model, right? It's connected to password infrastructure, databases. It shows up as this nice little window, but all of that other connectivity exists. We take all of the amazing, great capabilities we have for securing everything that happens inside the browser. And now we are embedding AI in that and the enterprise controls necessary to secure the use of AI in the browser. That is how we will enable the browsing use case. So this is by far our biggest announcement on AI security.
Most work happens in the browser, making secure browsers more essential than ever. And the rising use of AI workflows add additional risk. I'm joined now by Ofer Ben-Nun, the Senior Vice President of Prisma Browser and SASE CTO at Palo Alto Networks. So Ofer, as the browser becomes the new enterprise workspace, why are traditional security staffs failing to keep pace, and what specific use cases are forcing leadership to shift their strategy towards the Prisma browser?
So obviously on top of the use case of securing the agentic AI browsing, we're seeing securing the generic AI access security. So if we're thinking about when you are accessing a checkmark and you would like to query things, we'd like to make sure that we have the full DLP about what goes inside, so analyzing the proof, what goes outside, making sure that we have a good coverage of the data, every image or file that is being uploaded, etc. Another use case that is getting a lot of traction and excitement from our customers is around the world of advanced web protection, with 95% of the organizations reporting a security incident starting in the browser, and with about 64% of the total web traffic is today not decrypted. It's very hard to release security outside of the browser. Because the browser sees everything open, we have the ability to secure any file, any web access, including live scanning that allows us the most superior web protection. So we're seeing a lot around protecting the organization web update. Another key use case that we are very excited is about the world of how do we enable the secure access for URD contractors, externals, where the browser is becoming kind of an isolated hub for this population. And the last one is just seeing the browsing and the browser itself. So if you're thinking about the browser, it's the #1 most penetrated application. Last year alone, we've seen about 500 browser vulnerabilities, and we've seen about 280 million malicious extensions being downloaded in the consumer browser. So a lot of activities here, a lot of great use cases. We're excited about the new ones, but existing ones are so important. So,
well, certainly, I just was listening to the keynotes today and just talking about what browsers have access to. And obviously working in technology for so many years, obviously being careful which browser, but thinking about what they have access to on a regular basis, most people aren't really thinking the deep dive of security, what they're looking at, not just the cookies and the other little pieces that you're entering in, what they could access, not using the right browser to be detrimental to any organization and an individual themselves. So I'm not sure if you saw the big news today, obviously being part of Palo Alto, but you just released the Prisma Browser for small businesses. And let's talk about the need to secure small businesses.
Wow, this is a topic that is so dear to my heart. You know, when Ohad and I founded Talon and incepted the secure browser category, we always had a dream that we want to bring this to SMB, to small organizations. It could be a small shop with 7 employees. It could be a small company just started. They don't have, the amount of IT security professionals. They're not able to now maintain in depth like 5 different security products. And most of the work is actually happening in the browser. So when the browser is becoming the new digital workspace, if we're able to create all of the security tools inside the browser, this is the ideal solution for small and medium businesses. We are so excited about this innovation, about this new offering. It was a dream for us to secure this population and to provide a solution that is robust, yet easy to maintain, and I'm so proud of this.
Small businesses live in the browser. It's where you work, but it's also where 95% of security incidents begin. And small businesses are an easy target for cyber attacks. Protect yourself with Prisma Browser for Business. It's the secure workspace designed for small businesses with built-in AI controls to block AI attacks and prevent data leakage before they harm your business. Work seamlessly. Keep your business protected and AI under control. Browse bravely. Prisma Browser for Business.
Now, last Sunday, the 15th of March, was a very important day for digital trust. The CA Browser Forum reduced the life cycle of public TLS certificates from 398 days to 200, on track to be 47 days by 2029. And don't get me wrong, the shorter certificates is a good thing for security. It makes sure that the window of exposure, if your keys are compromised, is small. But it also means that you can't do these things manually. Imagine your VPN gateway. You renewed your certificate once every 400 days, and now you're doing it once every month. And if you did this manually and had any mistake, gateway is down, your employees are locked out. Automated certificate lifecycle management is the only way to enforce digital trust in your organization. And just like in quantum, the network is the ultimate source of visibility and control. Now, we got certificate lifecycle management as part of the CyberArk acquisition with the Venafi technology. We've taken internet search discovery, third-party integrations, and added network-native discovery to give you the most complete and comprehensive view of all the certificates in your enterprise. Managed, unmanaged, risky, unused certificates.
CyberArk has recently joined the Palo Alto Networks platform as identity continues to emerge as a top issue facing cybersecurity professionals. Amy Blackshaw is the Senior Vice President of Marketing at CyberArk to tell us more about identity solutions and next-generation trust security. Amy, so happy to have you with us here today.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you.
Oh, always a pleasure. So Amy, by bringing CyberArk's intelligence into the network with next-generation trust security, how are you finally closing the gap between the teams managing certificates and the teams responsible for uptime?
Yeah, it's such an important question. Because what we know is that certificates today, the passports of the network, have a lifetime that makes it easier to manage those manually. But tomorrow and the next day, that time is going to shrink. And so the teams who are responsible for certificate lifecycle management have to make sure they can do this with the assistance of automation. And so being able to take the technology from CyberArk and Venafi and to put that into the power of Palo Alto Networks is going to be able to provide that automation so that outages are no longer a part of the conversation. It's all about uptime and making sure that your customers can access the information that they need with a trusted network.
You cannot have humans basically going and now setting these static policies. You need AI to go and defend against AI.
I think there's a great future for agents in security. So we don't have to write complex policies that have to measure one row against another row. but rather just tell the agent what we want and it constructs an accurate policy.
We are really looking forward to Agentics. That ability to scale 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is transformational. And it's not just like an automated script, it's an adaptive function.
So you have to make sure you're present at the endpoint. The endpoint actually becomes a server with vibe coding in place. So if you believe the endpoint becomes a server, the idea of protecting the endpoint is no longer as an endpoint as a client, is both the endpoint as a client and endpoint as a server. So that you'll hear about that from our team in terms of what products we're launching today that allow that future to be realized and for our customers to be able to deliver that securely.
We talked about Koi. We announced that last month. It's our latest acquisition. This is one where our team started by adopting it internally. And then we met with them. And then we said, you know what, not only do we want to use the product, we actually want the entire team and the technology to be part of Palo Alto Networks. Because what they do is they give us visibility and security for all of the AI components that are being adopted on the endpoint itself, the agentic endpoint, including, of course, vibe coding is one of the biggest use cases.
We've just heard about innovations to secure agentic AI in the enterprise. Let's now turn to how agents are transforming security operations. Elad Koren is Vice President of Product Management for Cortex. Elad, pleasure to have you with us here today.
Oh, Shira, thanks for having me.
Another hot topic is agentic endpoints, an announcement that you plan to acquire Koi. What is the agentic endpoint security, and why should security leaders pay attention to this new area?
If you think about the agentic endpoints, we're seeing an influx of agentic endpoints. As we are seeing the complexity and technology evolve there, we are seeing more and more tech vectors on that input. It's super important to keep that in mind because these are new technologies, new capabilities added to the entire tech stack, and we need to make sure that they're secured from design from the get-go. So we think it's very important to defend them as early as possible.
Lots of innovations, to be sure. I hope you're as excited as I am to see these products and updates hit the market. Palo Alto Networks is leading the way yet again. You can watch the full innovation showcase from Tomorrow Secured on demand at paloaltonetworks.com/tomorrowsecured. Thanks for joining us today.
Palo Alto Networks is one of the top security companies in the world, and Equinix is the interconnection hub.
It's a two-way partnership. We don't just open support tickets, we co-develop the product together.
When we speak, they listen, and they give us features early.
We kind of blazed new trails together. It's really been a mutually beneficial relationship.
Palo Alto Networks will be there with MLB as we guide a path for the future.